What if a mechanic, living a quiet life in a small town, found himself at the heart of a whirlwind that challenged everything he thought he knew about family, love, and purpose? The scent of motor oil and crisp autumn leaves hung heavy in the air of Willow Creek, a small town where time seemed to idle like an old pickup truck. Alex Thompson, 38, was the heartbeat of Thompson's Garage, a modest auto shop tucked between a diner and a hardware store. For 15 years, his world had been defined by the clatter of tools, the hum of fluorescent lights, and the steady rhythm of fixing cars for folks just trying to get by. His hands, callous and stained with grease, told the story of a man who traded dreams for survival, scraping together enough to keep the lights on and the bills at bay. But on that October morning, fate pulled into his driveway in a way he never could have predicted. A sleek black Rolls-Royce Cullinan rolled to a stop outside the garage, its polished chrome gleaming under the gray sky. It was a vehicle so alien to Willow Creek's dusty streets that Alex paused, wrench frozen mid-turn, his breath catching. He wiped his hands on his faded coveralls, curiosity sparking like a loose wire. The driver's door opened, and a woman stepped out, her presence commanding the space like a storm rolling over plains. Tall and poised, she wore a tailored cream coat, her jet-black hair swept into a sleek bun. Dark sunglasses shielded her eyes, but her confident stride spoke of a world far beyond Alex's humble existence. She approached the counter, her heels clicking sharply against the concrete floor. "I need my car fixed," she said, her voice smooth yet authoritative. "I was told you're the best in town." Alex blinked, caught off guard by the compliment. Most customers came with complaints or impatience, not praise. "I'll take a look, ma'am," he said, gesturing toward the SUV. "What's the issue?" "It started rattling on the highway," she replied, removing her sunglasses to reveal piercing hazel eyes that seemed to see right through him. "I can't afford to be stranded here. Time is critical." He nodded, sensing the weight of her words. As he circled the Rolls-Royce, its flawless exterior and leather-scented interior screamed wealth, a stark contrast to the rusted pickups and minivans he usually serviced. Fixing a car like this was a challenge, one that stirred a flicker of excitement in his routine life. "I'll get it done as fast as I can," he promised, popping the hood. The woman thanked him and settled into the waiting area, her phone already in hand, fingers flying across the screen. She was a mystery, a billionaire, perhaps dropped into his gritty world like a comet. Alex pushed the thought aside and dove into the engine, a labyrinth of precision engineering that demanded his full attention. Hours slipped by as Alex wrestled with the SUV's engine. The rattle was elusive, buried deep in the timing chain, a puzzle that tested every ounce of his expertise. Sweat beaded on his brow as he worked, his tools moving with the precision of a surgeon. The woman, who introduced herself as Elena Caldwell, glanced up occasionally from her phone, her presence a quiet pressure. Alex caught snippets of her emails, phrases like merger negotiations and Q3 forecasts, hinting at a life of corporate power. Her name tugged at a memory, like a headline half-read in the diner's morning paper. She was no ordinary customer. She was a titan in a world he'd only glimpsed on TV. As noon approached, the garage door creaked open, and a small figure appeared in the doorway. A girl, no older than 9, stood clutching a well-worn teddy bear, her dark curls framing a face bright with curiosity. She wore a navy dress, her sneakers scuffed from playground adventures. "Mom, is everything okay?" she asked, her voice soft but clear, cutting to the garage's hum. Elena's composed facade softened, her hazel eyes warming like sunlight breaking through clouds. "Yes, Lily. The car is almost fixed." Lily's gaze shifted to Alex, who was wiping grease from his hands with a rag. She approached him, her bear dangling at her side, and studied him with wide, inquisitive eyes. "You fixed our car?" she asked, her tone laced with awe. Alex crouched to her level, offering a smile that felt more natural than he expected. "Almost, kiddo. It's a tough one, but I'm getting there." Her eyes sparkled with admiration, and then, without warning, she said, "Thank you, Dad." The word struck Alex like a wrench to the chest, freezing him in place. Dad? He'd never been called that. Not by anyone, not even in jest. His life had been a solitary one, filled with engines and invoices, not family or fatherhood. Elena's expression shifted to one of mortification, her cheeks flushing. "Lily, honey," she said, stepping forward. "This is Mr. Thompson. He's a mechanic, not your dad." Lily tilted her head, unfazed by her mother's correction. "But he's fixing our car, and you said he's keeping us safe. Doesn't that make him like a dad?" Alex's throat tightened, a rush of emotions he couldn't name surging through him. He glanced at Elena, who looked torn between embarrassment and something deeper, grief perhaps, etched in the lines of her face. "I'm so sorry," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "Lily's been imaginative lately. We've had a rough couple years." "It's okay," Alex managed, though his heart was racing. The word Dad echoed in his mind, stirring a longing he'd buried long ago. He'd always wanted a family, but life had other plans. Long hours at the shop, relationships that fizzled under the weight of his responsibilities, and a bank account that never stretched far enough for dreams. Lily tugged at Elena's sleeve, her voice insistent. "I like him, Mom. Can he be our dad?" Elena knelt beside her daughter, her voice gentle but firm. "Sweetheart, we're okay on our own. Mr. Thompson's just doing his job." Alex cleared his throat, desperate to break the tension. "Car's ready," he said, gesturing toward the SUV. It was a loose timing chain. Should be smooth as silk now. Elena stood, gratitude softening her features. "Thank you, Alex. You've saved us today." As she reached for her wallet, Alex waved her off, surprising himself with his own generosity. "No charge," he said. "Consider a welcome to Willow Creek." Elena hesitated, her eyes searching his. "That's very kind. I won't forget this." Lily beamed up at him, clutching her bear tighter. "See? He's nice, Mom." As they drove away, the Rolls-Royce's taillights fading into the dusk, Alex stood in the empty garage, the silence heavier than usual. Lily's words lingered like a melody he couldn't shake. Dad. It was absurd, yet stirred something deep, a dream of belonging he'd long since tucked away. He didn't know what to make of it, but one thing was clear. This wasn't just another day at the shop. The next few days were a blur of oil changes, tire rotations, and the usual chatter of Willow Creek's regulars. But Alex's thoughts kept drifting to Elena and Lily. He found himself glancing at the driveway, half expecting the Rolls-Royce to reappear. At night, in his cramped apartment above the garage, he replayed Lily's words, each syllable tugging at a part of him he'd kept locked away. Dad. It was a word he'd never expected to hear, and it left him restless, wondering what it meant for a man like him, a mechanic with nothing but his tools and his grit. On Friday, a delivery truck rumbled into the lot, unloading a crate addressed at Thompson's auto shop. Inside was a state-of-the-art diagnostic machine, its sleek design straight out of trade magazine Alex could never afford to subscribe to. His jaw dropped as he ran his fingers over the polished surface. The machine cost more than his annual income, tens of thousands, easily. The invoice listed no sender, but a handwritten note tucked inside read, "For the best mechanic in town, E.C." His heart raced. Elena Caldwell. The gesture was extravagant, almost surreal, and it deepened the mystery surrounding her. He dialed the number on the invoice, but went to voicemail, her voice crisp and professional. "You've reached Elena Caldwell. Please leave a message." He hung up, unsure what to say. Who was this woman, and why had she chosen him? That evening, as Alex locked the shop, the Rolls-Royce returned, its engine purring softly. Elena stepped out, this time in jeans and a soft gray sweater, her elegance undimmed by the casual attire. Lily trailed behind, her teddy bear in one hand, a crayon drawing clutched in the other. Her face lit up when she saw Alex. "Hope we're not intruding," Elena said, a hint of a smile playing on her lips. "Lily insisted we thank you in person." Lily ran to Alex, holding up her drawing, a colorful sketch of a man in coveralls fixing a car, with a little girl and a woman smiling beside him. Stick figure hearts floated above their heads. "It's us," she said proudly, her voice bubbling with excitement. Alex's heart swelled, a warmth spreading through him. "This is awesome, Lily. You're a real artist." Elena watched them, her expression softening, though something guarded lingered in her eyes. I also wanted to explain, she said, her voice low. Lily's father passed away 2 years ago. A car accident. She's been searching for someone to fill that space. I didn't expect her to latch on to you like that. Alex nodded, his throat tight. She's a great kid. You're doing a good job with her. Elena's eyes glistened, but she blinked it away. Thank you. And thank you for the car. You didn't have to waive the fee. Felt right, Alex said simply, his voice steady despite the emotion swirling inside. Lily tugged at his sleeve, her eyes wide. Can you show me how to fix a car? Alex glanced at Elena, who nodded with a small smile. Sure, kiddo. Let's start with something easy. For the next hour, Alex showed Lily how to check tire pressure, her laughter filling the garage like music. He explained the basics of air gauges, letting her try it herself, her small hands fumbling but determined. Elena watched from the sidelines, her guard slowly lowering, a quiet gratitude in her gaze. When they left, she handed Alex a business card, her fingers brushing his. If you ever need anything, call me. He tucked the card into his pocket, its weight heavier than it should have been. As the Rolls-Royce disappeared into the night, Alex felt a shift, like the first turn of an engine after a long winter. Something was changing, and he wasn't sure he was ready for it. Over the next few weeks, Elena and Lily became unexpected fixtures in Alex's life. They'd stop by with coffee from the diner, or homemade cookies, still warm from the oven. Lily would beg for more mechanic lessons, her enthusiasm infectious as she learned to change wiper blades and check oil levels. Alex found himself looking forward to their visits, the garage feeling brighter with them around. Lily's laughter and Elena's quiet smiles chipped away at the walls he'd built around his heart. Elena began to open up, sharing fragment of her life over coffee in the shop's cramped break room. She was the CEO of Caldwell Technologies, a company she'd built from a college startup into a global powerhouse. Her late husband, Michael, had been her co-founder, a brilliant engineer whose loss had left a void in her life and Lily's. He was a dreamer, she said one evening, her voice soft. I was the one who made things happen. Now it's just me, trying to keep it all together for her. Alex shared his own story, his voice rough with honesty. He'd grown up in Willow Creek, raised by a single mother who worked double shifts at the diner until cancer took her when he was 16. His father had been a fleeting presence, leaving only a toolbox and a love for engines. The garage had become Alex's anchor, a place where he could control the chaos of life. Never had much, he admitted. But I've got my hands and my heart. That's enough. Elena listened, her respect for him growing with each word. You're more than you think, Alex, she said, her eyes steady. Lily sees it. I see it. One evening, as they sat on a bench outside the garage, Lily asleep in the SUV with her bear tucked under her arm, Elena turned to Alex. You're good with her. Better than I expected. She makes it easy, Alex said, his voice soft. She reminds me there's more to life than just getting by. Elena studied him, her hazel eyes searching. Why do you stay here, Alex? You're talented. You could be anywhere. He shrugged, gazing at the stars above. This is home. Never had a reason to leave. She nodded, as if weighing his words. Maybe you do now. The words hung between them, heavy with unspoken possibilities. Alex felt a pull toward her, a warmth he hadn't known in years, but he pushed it down. She was a billionaire, a woman who moved mountains in boardrooms. He was a mechanic with grease under his nails, worlds apart. But life had other plans. One afternoon, as Alex worked on a rusted Ford, a man in a sharp suit entered the garage. He introduced himself as Victor Hayes, Elena's business partner. Ms. Caldwell speaks highly of you, he said, his tone clipped, his eyes scanning the shop with thinly veiled disdain. She's considering investing in Willow Creek, and your shop's at the center of her plans. Alex frowned, wiping his hands. Investing? What kind of plans? Victor smirked, adjusting his cufflinks. Big ones. A tech hub, training centers, maybe a factory. Your garage could be a flagship for mechanic training, or it could be bulldozed for something bigger. Depends on you. The words hit like a punch. The garage was Alex's life, his legacy. The idea of losing it, or being swept into Elena's world, unsettled him. Yet, The thought of her believing in him, seeing potential in his small corner of the world, sparked a flicker of hope. "I'll think about it," he said, his voice tight. Victor's smile was cold. "Don't think too long. Opportunities like this don't wait." A month later, Elena invited Alex to a charity gala in the city, insisting he deserved a night out. He protested. He owned no suit, no shoes fit for her world. But she wouldn't take no for an answer. A tailor arrived at the shop, measuring him with practiced efficiency, and by Saturday, Alex stood in a sleek navy suit, feeling like an actor in someone else's life. The gala was a whirlwind of chandeliers, champagne flutes, and glittering dresses. Alex fell out of place among the city's elite, but Lily stole the show, twirling in a sparkly dress and dragging him to the dance floor. Her laughter was a lifeline, grounding him in the chaos. Elena watched from a table, her smile radiant, her eyes lingering on them with a warmth that made Alex's heart ache. As they drove back to Willow Creek, Lily asleep in the back seat, Elena's voice broke the silence. "I've been offered a partnership in Singapore. It's a huge opportunity, expanding Caldwell Tech into Asia. But it means moving. For a year, maybe more." Alex's heart sank, his hands tightening on the steering wheel. "That's great for you. Lily'll love it." Elena glanced at him, her expression unreadable. "I don't want to uproot her again. She's happy here. With you." He swallowed, unsure what she meant. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying I trust you, Alex. Lily adores you. If I go, I'd like you to stay in her life. As her guardian, maybe, or more if you're willing." The words hit harder than Lily's dad ever had. Alex's mind raced. Guardian? More? He was just a mechanic, a man who fixed cars, not lives. But as he glanced at Lily's sleeping form, her bear clutched tight. He knew he couldn't let her go. "I'm willing," he said finally, his voice steady. "For her. For both of you." Elena's hand found his, her touch a quiet promise in the dark. But Victor's visit gnawed at him. The next day, Alex confronted Elena at the shop, his voice low but firm. "Your partner came by. Said you're planning to change Willow Creek. What's going on?" Elena sighed, her face tightening. "Victor's ambitious. He sees Willow Creek as a blank slate for a tech hub, offices, factories, the works. I see it differently, a place to build opportunities, not erase what's here. Your shop could train locals, give kids like Lily a future mechanics or tech. It's your choice, Alex." "And if I say no," he asked, his heart pounding. "Then I'll find another way," she said firmly. "Your shop's yours. I'd never take that from you." Her sincerity disarmed him, but the weight of the choice lingered. Stay small, safe in his world, or step into hers, a world of possibility and risk. Elena took the Singapore deal, but she didn't leave right away. She and Alex worked out a plan. Lily would stay in Willow Creek, living with Alex in a cozy house Elena rented nearby. Elena would visit monthly, and they'd video call daily. It was unconventional, a leap of faith for both of them, but it felt right. Alex transformed his life for Lily, trading late nights at the garage for homework help and bedtime stories. The townsfolk noticed a change. Alex smiled more, laughed louder, his eyes brighter than they'd been in years. Lily thrived, her crayon drawings now featuring a family, Alex, Elena, and her bear, with Willow Creek's rolling hills in the background. She'd chatter about school, her friends, and the car she wanted to fix one day, her enthusiasm filling the gaps in Alex's solitary life. Elena's visits were the highlight of their months. She'd join them for picnics by the creek or movie nights in the living room, her CEO armor shed in their presence. Over time, the distance between her and Alex closed, their bond deepening through shared laughter and quiet moments. But Victor Hayes cast a long shadow. One afternoon, he returned to the garage, his suit as sharp as his tone. "You haven't signed on to the Tech Hub project," he said, his eyes narrowing. "Elena is too sentimental about this town, but I'm not. Sign on, or we'll bring in a chain repair shop. Your little garage won't survive the competition." Alex's stomach churned. The garage was more than a business. It was his mother's legacy, his sanctuary. Losing it would break him. But joining Victor's vision felt like betraying everything he'd built. "I need time," he said, his voice tight. "Time's running out," Victor replied, his smile cold. Choose wisely. That night, Alex confided in Elena over a video call, his voice heavy. Victor's threatening to ruin me if I don't join his plan. I don't know if I can do this. Elena, your world's too big for me. Her face softened, her voice steady despite the distance. You're already in my world, Alex. You're in Lily's. That's all that matters. Victor's not in charge. I am. We'll face him together. With Elena's support, Alex devised a plan. He'd join the tech hub, but on his terms. The garage would become a training center for mechanics and tech apprentices, preserving its heart while embracing the future. He met with Victor and Elena's legal team, negotiating a contract that protected his shop and ensured local jobs. Victor grudgingly agreed, outmaneuvered by Alex's resolve and Elena's influence. As the tech hub took shape, Willow Creek buzzed with new energy. Construction crews arrived, but so did opportunities, jobs, training programs, and scholarships funded by Elena's foundation. Alex's garage became a beacon, its workshop bustling with young apprentices learning to fix cars and code software. He mentored them with the same patience he showed Lily, finding purpose in their eager questions. But not everyone welcomed the change. Some townsfolk, like Old Man Jenkins from the hardware store, grumbled about outsiders and fancy tech. Alex felt the weight of their skepticism, wondering if he betrayed Willow Creek's soul. One evening, at a town hall meeting, he stood before the community, his hands trembling but his voice steady. I know change is scary, he said, meeting their eyes. This garage was my mom's dream, and it's mine too. But we can grow without losing who we are. Let's give our kids a chance to build something new, right here where we belong. His words struck a chord. Jenkins clapped him on the shoulder afterward, muttering, Didn't think you had it in you, Thompson. The town rallied, and the garage became a symbol of hope, bridging the old and the new. Elena's monthly visits grew longer, her connection to Alex and Lily deepening. One evening, as they watched Lily play soccer in the yard, Elena turned to Alex, her eyes bright. I realized something. Singapore was a success, but it's not home. This is here with you and her. Alex's heart pounded. I love you, he said, the words spilling out, raw and true. I love you too, she replied, her voice steady, her hand finding his. Lily ran to them, giggling. Told you he's my dad. 6 months later, Alex and Elena married in a small ceremony at the garage, its bays decorated with wildflowers and fairy lights. Lily was a flower girl, scattering petals with glee, her bear tucked under her arm. The townsfolk filled the seats, their cheers echoing as Alex and Elena exchanged vows. It was a moment of unity, a testament to the community they'd built together. The garage thrived as a training center, its apprentices winning national awards for innovation. Elena's foundation expanded, offering scholarships to single parents and at-risk youth. Lily, now 11, was a force of nature, splitting her time between school, soccer, and tinkering in the garage with Alex. Her drawings adorned the shop's walls, each one a snapshot of their growing family. But life wasn't without challenges. Victor resurfaced, attempting to undermine the project with shady investors, but Alex and Elena stood united, exposing his schemes and cementing their partnership. The townsfolk rallied behind them, proving Willow Creek's strength lay in its people, not just its new skyline. One night, as Alex tucked Lily into bed, she handed him a new drawing, a family portrait with him, Elena and her bear, standing in front of the garage, now painted with a mural of gears and stars. I knew you were my dad all along, she whispered, her eyes heavy with sleep. Alex kissed her forehead, his heart full. And I'm so glad you did. 5 years later, Thompson's garage stood as the heart of Willow Creek, its workshop a hub of learning and laughter. Alex, now graying at the temples, mentored a new generation of mechanics and coders, his hands still stained with grease, but his heart brimming with purpose. Lily, a teenager with her mother's fire and her father's knack for engines, was designing a hybrid car for a school competition, her bear now a mascot on her desk. Elena had stepped back from Caldwell Tech, passing the CEO role to a trusted colleague to focus on her foundation and family. She and Alex ran the training center together, their partnership a blend of grit and vision. The town had grown, new businesses, a tech campus, a community center, but its soul remained intact, anchored by the garage and the family within it. As Alex, Elena, and Lily sat around their dinner table, surrounded by laughter and the clink of plates, Alex reflected on that day. A broken car, a child's word, and a chance encounter had rewritten his life. Dad had been more than a word. It had been a spark, a challenge, a promise. It had led him from a life of solitude to one of love, purpose, and community. He looked at Elena's hand in his. Lily's smile across the table, and the mural outside, visible through the window. The gears and stars glowed under moonlight, a reminder of the miracle they'd built together. Alex wasn't just a mechanic anymore. He was a husband, a father, a cornerstone of Willow Creek. And as he pulled his family close, he knew that no engine, no matter how complex, could compare to the life they crafted from a single, hopeful word.